Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Kindly be seated. Good morning once again, and welcome to the high-level stakeholder engagement. Honorable Minister Emma Theofelus, Minister of ICT, Honorable Rian McNabb, Governor of the Hardap Region, Mr. Simon Cooper, Chairperson of the Hardap Regional Council, Mr. Paulus Levine, Acting Chief Regional Officer of the Hardap Regional Council, Pastor Augustinus van Wyk, regional councillors of various constituencies, traditional church and community leaders, representatives of various offices, ministries, and agencies, captains of the industry and businesses in ICT, ICT players, stakeholders and experts, MICT management and staff, distinguished invited guests, members of the public, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Today's engagement is a significant platform that brings together government, industry leaders, stakeholders to reflect on the progress of the ICT sector here in our country, Namibia. It highlights the critical role ICT plays in driving economic growth, improving service delivery, bridging the digital divide, and empowering communities, particularly regions such as Hardap. As Namibia advances its digital transformation agenda, engagements like this ensure collaboration, innovation, and inclusive development remain at the forefront of national priority. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once more to the high-level ICT stakeholder engagement taking place here in the Hardap region at the Hardap Regional Council here in Marienthal. As we progress, I just have a few housekeepings for you to just keep in mind. Kindly please ensure that your phone is on silent mode. And also, for when we need to use the restrooms, they're just outside here to your left. As we get into our program, ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome to the podium Pastor Augustinus to give us the opening prayer. Kindly give him a round of applause.
Good morning. Can we just rise on our feet for the prayer? Thank you very much. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we acknowledge that unless you guide and build our efforts, our work is in vain. As we gather for this meeting, grant us wisdom, clarity, and understanding. Help us to make decisions that are just, thoughtful, beneficial, and to all those who serve. Guide our conversations so that they are respectful and productive. Father, unite us in purpose, even where perspectives differ, and help us to seek solutions with integrity. Remove anxiety, replace it with trust in your guidance. May the work of our hands today be established and bring positive impact. We commit this time to you, trusting your direction. In the name of Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Pastor, for those wonderful words of prayer. As we proceed with our program, ladies and gentlemen, we're moving on to our welcoming remarks, and they will be given by the Honorable Governor of this region, Honorable Rian McNabb. Kindly give him a round of applause. Rise as he gets.
Thank you so much, Director of Ceremonies. A happy 36th Independence to all of us in advance. Honorable Emma Theofelus, Minister of Information and Communication Technology, my senior, it is a joyful occasion for us to have our Honorable Minister here in acknowledging her presence here and what she is bringing to this region. Our Chairperson of the Regional Council, the Honorable Councillors are present here, Honorable Van Niel and Honorable Andy Visser is here. I spoke to the Honorable Chairperson this morning, and our sincere apology I was granted on behalf of the Honorable Chairperson, who have equally important activities happening this week. All Honorable Councillors, let me acknowledge your presence. The Mayor of the town of Marindal and all mayors and chairpersons present here today, of all local authorities who have Honorable Councillors, esteemed traditional leaders, senior traditional councillor, thank you for that wonderful singing that came through. Let us give him a hand of applause. Community, church leaders, Ms. Linda Nakale, Executive Director in the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, officials from all government entities present here, our Director of Education, Acting CRO, and all OMAS, heads of line ministries, representatives from ICT, service providers, telecommunication regulators, and stakeholders in the telecommunication industry, members of the media, distinguished stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, goeiemorgen, good morning. Thank you for attending this very important high-level stakeholders meeting. It is indeed my privilege to welcome you all to Hardap Region, your home, and especially our Honorable Minister of Information, Communication, Technology, to the iconic Hardap Dam, a vital resource that supports both agriculture and tourism. Our region is defined by a remarkable contrast from the vast Namib Desert to the stretching sand of the Kalahari, making Hardap a place of tremendous natural and economic significance. I therefore call upon our guests to explore this majestic region further than just Marindal, to discover more of tourism attraction such as the Namib Naukloof Park, Sesrim Canyon, and our hello. Let me continue. And our Sossusvlei dunes. Honorable Minister, on behalf of the leadership and the people of Hardap, I extend our heartfelt appreciation for your presence, Honorable Minister, and for convening this important engagement. The event of this nature reflects the Ministry's commitment to ensuring that every region, including Hardap, is fully included in Namibia's digital transformation agenda through face-to-face dialogue such as this. It comes right on the heels of one of our most important national commemorations, the 36th independence of the Republic of Namibia. As we remember the long and hard journey to Namibia's attainment for freedom and liberation. Ladies and gentlemen, as previously alluded to, Hardap is a region of expansive, as previously alluded to, Hardap is a region of expansive landscapes, diverse communities, and growing economy opportunities. For our residents, access to reliable information and communication technology is not a luxury, but it is essential and very important. ICT plays a crucial role in enabling quality education in our schools, timely healthcare in our clinics, greater market access for our businesses, improved public service delivery, and access to information and government services. I wish to acknowledge the presence of our traditional leaders and our councillors. Colleagues, this is your opportunity to deliver. Hence, I plead to you to submit guidance and community needs as they are vital for shaping inclusive ICT development. I also wish to welcome representatives from the Community Regulatory Authority of Namibia, Mobile Telecommunications Company, Telecom Namibia, and the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation, NAMPOST, and all stakeholders whose dedication remains crucial. I trust that this will not be the last. Our offers remain open to receive all of you in future to engage in how best we can position Hardap region as a future economic and agriculture hub through development and deployment of ICT's infrastructure in the region. In conclusion, it is my hope that today's discussion will be practical, solution-oriented, and results in meaningful improvements in ICT access, service delivery, and digital inclusion across our region. As they say with these few remarks, I officially welcome you all, and especially our Honorable Minister, who has been spearheading the high-level stakeholders engagement. Honorable Minister, once again, we welcome you with a special independence flavor and the Hardap way. I want us to sing from Hardap, our own way in welcoming our Honorable Minister and our guests, and I wish you fruitful deliberations. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Governor. Just for the sake of all of us actually understanding what was alluded here, I would like to invite our translator, Senior Councillor from the Witbooi clan, to just assist us with the translation.
Ik weet eens niet wat er taal om te gebruiken om allemaal te accommoderen. Misschien moet ik Afrikaans praten om dan allemaal te kunnen accommoderen. Nama ko bada ka udu king naung aditi. Want nama ko bab keek ma tui khalakang nagu khuna unga goeie môre allemaal. Alreeds is u op die nodige manier en die waardigheid daarvan die nodige erkenning gegee op die verschillende vlakke waaronder u vanoggend hier teenwoordig is. Daarom sal ek nie herhaal nie, maar nietemin wil ek erkenning gee aan die achtbare minister, wat vanoggend hier teenwoordig is in ons midde en dan ook die hoof is van kommunikasiestelsel in ons land, in Namibië, wat dan ook probeer het om dan so 'n platform te skep waarin alle hooggeplaastes in verskillende administratiewe gedeeltes en dan ook organisasies hier by mekaar te maak, ekskuus tog, om deel te wees van hierdie platform wat vir ons daar gestel is, sodat ons dan rondom kommunikasie en rondom wat dit beteken en wat dit behels, saam kan bespreek en meer duidelikheid kan kry rondom die aspek van die breë veld in kommunikasie as sulks. Ek wil tog die nodige erkenning gee, veral aan die tradisionele leierskap, vir hulle teenwoordigheid, dat hierdie platform dan vir hulle daar dan ook gestel is, om dan hulle deel in die verstandhouding van kommunikasie, het sy op hoë vlak, het sy op die grond, dan daar gestel te kry, sodat dit dan in daardie daadwerklikheid by die mense wat hulle dien, kan uitkom. In besonder het die governor melding gemaak van die Hardap-streek as sulks, die Hardap-dam, en dan ook die feit dat die minister vandag gedeeltelik dan ook gekoppel aan die onafhankelijkheidsvieringe hier vandag sal wees, dat die Hardap-streek gekoppel is aan verskillende toerismeaktiwiteite en plekke soos genoem die Hardap-dam, soos genoem soos ons vlei, soos genoem daar die afgronde wat daar soos, die dooie vlei wat daar soos, die woestyne, die duine wat daar so is, wat toerisme aktiwiteite is, wat gedeeltelik baie voordelig vir die Hardap-streek en sy mense is. Ons moet weet dat kommunikasie in watter vorm dit ook al is, het sy die cellfoon, het sy die TV, het sy die radio, hy het dit nie genoem nie, maar ek noem dit. Watter type van kommunikasiestelsel daar ook is dit nie iets wat net daar vir die mense is nie iets wat 'n leksheid is nie, maar dat dit 'n noodsaaklikheid is, dat daar kommunikasie tussen die hoër vlak en die laer vlak en die middelvlak daar kan wees, sodat verstandhouding en die aspek van dat mense weet wat in die land aangaan, beter na die mense toe gekommunikeer kan word, omdat alles nie net, hierdie is ook iets wat ek byvoeg, nie net by vergaderings gedoen kan word nie, want ons kom nie almal vergaderings toe nie. Ek het gister vir een ou gesê, man, daar kom 'n ou van die plaas af, en dan kom vertel hy vir my van Iranse oorlog, en iemand wat in Marindal is, vra wat se oorlog? Deur watter kommunikasiestelsel is dit wat hierdie persoon daar die nodige inligting kry om van die plaas af te kom en van Iranse oorlog te kom praat. En dit is wat kommunikasie bewerkstellig, dat daar waar jy sit, kan jy die nodige, as jy dit net reg gebruik, die nodige inligting kan kry. Ek wil net afsluit met die hoop dat vandag se besprekings dan prakties en dan ook die nodige oplossings vir ons mense sal bring en dan ook dat dit werklik meningvol sal wees, sodat ons informasie en kommunikasie tegnologie reg kan verstaan en dit reg kan gebruik en dit dan ook reg kan toepas. Baie dankie.
Thank you very much. As we proceed further into our program, as you can see there, it is now that time that we have all been waiting for. This is the time that we're giving to our Honorable Minister of ICT, Theofelus, to deliver her keynote statement. Kindly rise.
Thank you very much, Mati. Please be seated. Thank you. Directors of Ceremonies, the Honorable McNabb, Governor of the mighty Hardap region. I realize as I go around to every region, I must say mighty. Otherwise, I'll be in trouble. So all 14 regions are mighty, but for today, only Hardap is mighty. Mr. Paulus Levine, the Acting Chief Regional Officer of the Regional Council, standing in, of course, for your Chief Regional Officer, the different regional councillors of various constituencies present, Your Worship, the Mayor of Mariental Town, and all the local authority councillors, traditional and church and community leaders present with us this morning, Pastor Augustinus van Wyk, who gave us the prayer. Thank you very much, Pastor. Ms. Linda Aipinge Nakale, the Executive Director in the Ministry of ICT, and the entire MICT team present here. Representatives of all offices, ministries, and agencies, captains of industries and businesses, distinguished invited guests, members of the public, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Goeiemorgen allemaal. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation for the stakeholder engagement. We at the Ministry of ICT are very happy to undertake this activity with you this morning. And as I find myself in the south, in the Republic of Namibia, I'm very happy to be here in Tsaraga Abus, Mariental, Hardap Region, to be with you and to talk about ICT matters. I could not help but reminisce on the beautiful landscapes of the Hardap region, Honorable Governor, some which I got to relive my own journey when I would travel across the region, and also when I was reflecting when I was traveling from Windhoek yesterday. I'm just thinking to myself how we can add value to this gem into the next big economic and tourism hub by turning this region into Namibia's next renowned film destination. Your landscapes, like so many other landscapes of this country, sometimes you look at it and you think you're looking at a painting, like it's a picture on the wall. But it's a landscape of this country that is diverse, that is unique, that is contrasting, as our national anthem speaks of. So, Honorable Governor, I think we'll park this thought for another engagement, but it's worth exploring indeed. Because we at the Ministry of ICT are responsible for growing the film industry, and we want to work with the Hardap region and its people in making sure that Hardap becomes a renowned and well sought after film destination, not only for Namibians, but for anyone who wants to film in the Hardap region. Moving into the business of the day, ladies and gentlemen. The Honorable Governor a few minutes ago gave us some perspectives on the key features of the Hardap region and what actually makes it significantly special from the rest of Namibia. Be that as it may, I will fail in my duty if I do not mention and recognize the agricultural strength, particularly livestock farming and irrigation schemes that comes with the Hardap region, a region distinguished by its resilient communities whose livelihoods can be sustained and enhanced through innovation, digitalization, and access to ICT opportunities. As one of Namibia's key agricultural regions, Hardap holds a significant promise to contribute meaningfully to national development, particularly through the effective deployment of ICT infrastructure to unlock e-agriculture, or I would say agri-tech opportunities, to boost productivity, efficiency, and market access for local farmers in line with our Supper Party manifesto and its implementation plan, and of course, as put into the aspirations of our National Development Plan number 6, NDP 6. Dear fellow Namibians, today marks a significant milestone as we unite diverse stakeholders and sectors of our economy to evaluate ICT progress, identify gaps, and sharpen strategies that will drive Hardap Region forward. And as leaders, we carry that responsibility of laying a strong foundation with the right infrastructure to fuel development. The next generation, our Gen Zs, will not ask about process or excuses. And this is the generation that we call as digital nomads. They are a generation that knew what a screen is, what a computer is, how to go onto YouTube without even knowing how to read and write. They will demand results, impact, and tangible outcomes. They would want to see progress, experience change, and feel the difference in their daily lives. The purpose of today's engagement is to take stock of ICT-related challenges in the Hardap region, while also providing an update on key developments and interventions being taken by the Ministry of ICT, Information Communication Technology, and the public enterprises under the ministry. We continuously take stock of how each region is being positioned around ICT progress in the country. Some regions are doing very, very good, others not so well. In our last engagement, we're in Kavango West region. And as one of the baby regions, or the last regions to be put together in the country, they are considerably lagging behind. I'm happy to report that Hardap region is doing much better. You are somewhere around beyond the halfway mark. But it doesn't mean that it's perfect. It's never too good until everybody is connected. It's never too good until everybody can actualize the potential of connectivity to positively impact their livelihoods. It goes beyond just fiber connectivity or a network tower. It goes beyond having access to a smartphone and the data being able on that phone for you to access social media and so many other opportunities. What you do with it to impact the community is what is the most important for us as a government, and to ensure that technology truly transcends beyond rural and urban communities, young and old, and ensuring that businesses are able to deliver services to their people. Ladies and gentlemen, this platform allows us to collectively reflect on where we are, clarify where each stakeholder fits in, and identify practical areas for improvement and collaboration. It is not only a government effort. Every one of us has a role to play. And I want to say this even before the operators and the different public enterprises make their presentations after I speak. For us to put up a network tower, we need land, Honorable Governor. We need land in a local authority, in the jurisdiction of a regional council, and also the jurisdiction of a traditional authority. But we also are cognizant of the fact that there is private property that exists in our regions, private farms, private properties we would want to put up network towers. But we find ourselves that when the operators make an application and they want to put up a network tower, either the land is not being processed fast enough, the environmental impact assessment is not being processed fast enough, or the environmental impact assessment team is unable to come and do the impact assessment because we don't have access to that particular area, whether it's a private farm or a locality that has fenced off the area. Or we find ourselves that even when our teams have put up a network tower and they want to maintain the tower, they want to upgrade the tower from 3G to 4G to 4G to 5G, they're being threatened by the owners of the land to not access the infrastructure. And I'm sure they'll come and talk about the experiences that they have in actually expanding network connectivity in this country, as well as in this region, and how every one of us, stakeholders, can make it easier with the little coins that we have and the little accessibility that we have to ensure that there are no more delays, that a community that needed a network tower in January will only get it in September because of all these barriers our providers are experiencing. We want to reach the targets in our NDP6. We want the president's timelines, where she says business unusual, to come to a fruition, but it requires all of us working together, Honorable Governor. Hardap Region, despite its economic importance, faces connectivity gaps that hinder education, healthcare, and service delivery. It is against this that the government of the Republic of Namibia, through the Ministry of ICT, has appropriated funds to the Universal Service Fund to assist the regulator to roll out ICT infrastructure in the most remote areas where telecommunications operators are reluctant to put up the infrastructure. And it's our wish that Hardap Region will be prioritized for new towers to expand coverage in the next phase. We are currently done with phase 1. We are now starting phase 2 and a hope for phase 3. Ladies and gentlemen, Namibia is increasingly becoming vulnerable to cyber attacks, and with these incidents being on the rise across the country. To address this, we managed to establish the Namibia Cybersecurity Incident Response Team, NAMCERT for short, under the regulator, which is fully operational today. The department is responsible for coordinating the cybersecurity incidents reporting, mitigation, response, and recovery across all sectors in Namibia. Further to that, the National Cybersecurity Strategy and Awareness-Raising Plan from 2022 to 2027 is currently being implemented with support of UNICEF and Lifeline Childline Namibia to educate citizens on online risks. Awareness campaigns have already reached schools in several regions, including the Hardap region. Just this week alone, my team has delivered sessions at Annelie Olivier Old Age Home in Rehoboth and several schools in Mariental urban and rural constituencies, as well as in the Gibeon constituency. Additionally, the ministry has concluded stakeholder engagements on the cybercrime bill, which will outline offenses, penalties, and provisions to strengthen Namibia's legal framework against cybercrime. Namibia is also improving our broadband speeds through the reviewed broadband policy, with new targets of 25 megabits per second download and 3 megabits per second upload speeds. This will drive digital innovation, boost productivity, and support economic growth. The Electronic Transactions Act regulations, and this is a 2019 act, on electronic signatures has been finalized and now has been gazetted. The regulations enable and facilitate electronic transaction by securing e-signatures to reduce operational costs by cutting printing, scanning, and manual processing of documentation while ensuring authenticity, and legal validity. Furthermore, the Ministry of ICT is advancing the community media policy. And I've learned from the Honorable Governor that we do need to expand radio services in this region. The community media policy is aimed at strengthening community radio stations as vital platforms for access to information, local participation, and inclusive dialogue. For Hardap Region, this means empowering rural voices, ensuring farmers, youth, and small businesses can access information in their local languages and actively participate in national development. Access to information is a fundamental human right. And this is why we passed the Access to Information Act in 2022. And to support this, we have launched the Government Information Centers, which have been established in all regions, including the Hardap region. These centers connect communities to NBC TV, radio, and community media. I call upon all regional leaders and officers and ministries and agencies in the Hardap region to fully utilize the GIC studio to share information on projects and programs to benefit the community. Namibia, as we know it, has become prone to droughts, floods, and wildfires. And this is why we, as a Ministry of ICT, took it upon ourselves to actually put together the National Emergency Telecommunications Plan, which we were able to launch to ensure reliable communication during crises, enabling quicker responses and protecting livelihoods and infrastructure during times of crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, ICT is not merely about technology. It is about unlocking opportunities, empowering communities, enabling swift responses in times of emergency, and fostering inclusion. It means ensuring that a farmer in Gibeon can connect to marketplaces in real time, that a learner in Slip can participate in online classes, and that a nurse in Aranos can access digital health records and consult with a doctor beyond our borders through telemedicine. With that, I look forward to open, constructive, solution-oriented discussions throughout this engagement. This gathering is not simply about exchanging ideas. It is about building consensus, forging partnerships, and identifying practical steps that will move us closer to our shared vision of ICT advancement. Our commitment is there as your government. May our deliberations be rich in insight, guided by innovation, and grounded in the realities faced by our communities. Let us ensure that every voice is heard, every perspective considered, and every proposal weighed against the urgent need to deliver tangible progress, as it is a call of our President, Her Excellency, Dr. Netumbo Nandi Ndaitwah. You will hear in detail what we have proposed for you as a ministry, as your government, and as the public enterprises that are present here today, whether it's the Communications Regulatory Authority of Namibia, MTC, Telecom Namibia, NBC, and of course NAMPOST, who will present to you, Honorable Governor, and to all the stakeholders in this room, what they have planned for the entire region, so we can enrich those plans, make them better, make them more responsive to the needs of the people in Hardap Region. Baie dankie, and I wish you all a 36th Independence Day celebration in advance. Thank you.
All right, I'm informed by the governor. Ladies and gentlemen, kindly have your seats. I'm informed the mayor will be leading us in song this morning. Let us give her a round of applause to encourage her. That was beautiful. That was very lovely. Thank you very much. We feel so welcome. I feel so welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, as we proceed further into our program, before we continue on to our presentations from our key stakeholders, I would kindly just ask for our senior to kindly just translate for us, as short as he can, what our Honorable Minister just highlighted in her statement.
Ik weet niet, elke keer wat hulle sê en praat van Hardap, dan sê hulle maar elke keer net the mighty Hardap region. En ek het nog nie probeer om dit werklik uit te lê om die mighty aspek vir iemand te verduidelik nie, want as ek sê groot, dan is dit nie werklik wat dit beteken nie. So ons bly by die mighty, want ons verstaan om wat hy beteken. En dan die ander ene is, hulle sê, en ek sien dit altyd by 'n ander evangelis wanneer hy preek, protocol observed. So ek sal ook net daarby bly. Dit is verblydend vir my om in Marindal Tsaragaibes te wees, om hierdie keer te kom praat oor die aspek van ITC, wat ons almal, ek het probeer om in Khoi Kopap die ITC aspek vir my te verduidelik wat dit beteken, of dan die vertaling. Toe sê ou Google vir my, nee, hy bly net so. Hy bly maar net so, daar is party goed wat net so kan aangespreek word, wat nie vertaal kan word nie, want as jy hom vertaal, dan begin praat jy iets anders. Ek is ook dankbaar vir die gouverneur om vir my vandag die waarde en die waardevolheid van die Hardap streek in oënskou te laat neem. As 'n mens kyk na die landskap van die Hardap, dan lyk dit soos 'n skildery wat daar voor jou staan. En dit is net in sy enigheid die mooi beeld wat dit uitbeeld. En ek sien in die toekoms dat daar Hardap aandag gegee moet word, sodat ons dan ook films rondom die besienswaardighede van Hardap moet begin afneem. Ek wil onder die aandag bring in die aspek van boerdery. Boerdery wat op verskillende maniere boerdery genoem word. Ek het agtergekom wanneer daar gepraat word van boerdery, dan dink party mense net aan skaap en bees en bok. Maar boerdery het verskillende aspekte, want daar is 'n landbouer wat ook met groente boer. Daar is 'n ander ou wat met varke boer, met hoenders boer. So boerdery het dan ook verskillende velde waaraan daar aandag gegee moet word. En dit word meerendeels hier in die Hardap streek gekry, waar ons dan verskillende boere kry. Selfs die Hardap skema val onder die aspek van boerdery, wat 'n baie groot skema is en wat dan ook nodig is dat hierdie ICT by hierdie vlakke moet kom, want dit is nodig vir die boere en dan ook vir die rolspelers wat binne in hierdie verskillende velde vir hulle self bevind, dat verspreiding van ITC vir hulle nodig of noodsaaklik sal wees. In die aspek van wanneer dit meer verspreid is, wanneer dit meer voordelig begin raak vir die mense, dan gaan dit beter wees vir die mense, selfs op die plase, op die platteland, om beter bemarking te doen. Beter communicatie vir die mense daar te stel, om selfs, ek dink hierdie moes al reeds genoem gewees het, maar hy is so laaste genoem, dat daar vennootskappe aangeknoop kan word met besighede wat op die been gebring kan word, en daardeur dan mense op die plattelande dan ook beter gehelp kan word, waarde toevoeging by hulle se produkte teweeggebring kan word. IDC is redelijk versprei in die Hardap-streek. Die minister het genoem van daar in die noorde, die laaste streek wat daar bygevoeg is, omdat hy 'n babietjie is hy nog maar baie agter, maar die Hardap-streek is redelijk, verloop goed, maar nog nie by die beste uitgekom nie, so ons moet daaraan werk, want ons wil hê almal, die hele land, moet gekoppel wees aan informasie en aan telecommunicatiestelsels. En dit is nodig waar elke rolspeler sy rol moet begin speel. Telecom is daar, NBC is daar, en noem op van die 3, 4, 5 wat daar is, wat hulle se rolle breedvoerig moet begin speel, sodat hierdie telecommunicatiestelsel werklik uitgebrei kan word en bereikbaar en bereikbaar kan wees en bekostigbaar kan wees dan ook vir almal in die land. Ons moet ook daaraan werk sodat ons dan kan bereik wat die president van die land vir ons in vooruitsig daar stel en wat daar hoop en vooruitsigte is rondom die aspek van NDP6, sodat hierdie ICT werklik sover uitgebrei kan word, dat dit die skole kan bereik, dat dit die gemeenskappe op die grond kan bereik, dat dit besigheidsplekke kan bereik, dat dit instansies kan bereik wat probeer om nou op die been te kom. Die ander goeie ene wat die minister gesê het is ICT is redelijk versprei in die Hardap-streek, veral ook in die kiesafdelings. En ek is bly dat hulle Gibeon kiesafdeling ook genoem het, honorable minister. Ek het gehoor Gibeon kiesafdeling is ook genoem, so dit is nie net beperk tot Marindal, urban en rural nie, maar dit het 'n bietjie verder dan ook uitgegaan en ons is hartlik dankbaar daaroor. Ons moet weet dat kommunikasie is nie net met die selfoon met mekaar bel en WhatsApp en SMS nie, maar dat televisie en radio 'n baie groot rol speel in die kommunikasiestelsel ook. En dit wat ek genoem het van Iranse oorlog, dit is wat die persoon elke dag radio luister, elke dag Damaralama luister, elke dag Afrikaanse stasie luister, en dan hierdie inligting deur hierdie radio teweeg gebring word. So dit is nodig dat daar meer torings moet opgesit word, meer opvangs moet wees vir mense wat op die platteland is, sodat hulle meer inligting kan kry. Nie net noodwendig 'n koerant moet kom koop wat 60 kilometer ver is om te kan lees wat in die wêreld aangaan nie, maar onmiddellik sy radio aansit en onmiddellik die nuus en dit wat in die wêreld aangaan aan te hoor. En weer wil ek onderstreep dat dit hierdie nuusmedia, radio, televisie en die ander wat gebruik word om met mekaar te kommunikeer, kan ook moontlik maak deur die aspek van dat dit verbreed kan word, versprei kan word, dat daar besigheidsvennootskappe op die been gebring kan word. En wil ek graag hê dat al hierdie goed wat ek dan probeer noem het en onder julle aandag gebring het, deur die rolspelers wat net nou sal opkom, meer breedvoerig vir ons uitgelê sal word, sodat ons die aspek van ICT beter kan verstaan en wanneer ons teruggaan, dan ook daaraan kan gaan werk om dit beter by ons op die grond ook te kan gaan implementeer. Met die hulp van die regering, sodat ons toegang daartoe kan kry. Baie dankie.
Thank you very much, our senior councillor. I wish I could speak Afrikaans that well, then I would do the translation. Thank you very much. As we proceed further into our program, as I stated earlier, we're going into our presentations from our key stakeholders. And first on the lineup is a presentation from CRAN. It will be done by Ms. Ronelle Lecrange. I hope I got your surname right, Ms. Ronelle. I tried my best this time. Apologies, ladies and gentlemen, I just forgot one important point. Our minister and our honorable governor need to step down to sit there so they are able to view the presentations. Yeah. It's already,
Yeah, thank you. Good morning, goeiemorgen. I will do my presentation to you both in Afrikaans and English. Parts in English, parts in Afrikaans, so that I promote inclusivity. Ons wil graag almal insluit, so ek sal my aanbieding aan julle vandag in Afrikaans en in Engels doen. Nou, eerstens, soos ons voorgestel is, as we were introduced, we are the communications regulatory authority established by the Communications Act of 2009. Hierdie jaar sal CRAN, soos ons genoem word, 16 jaar oud wees. Ons het ons werk begin in 2011. So although the Act came into being in 2009, we were only start working in 2011, when CRAN was established as an independent organization reporting to the Minister of ICT. We are responsible not only for broadcasting and telecommunications, but also the postal sector. Dit wil sê, ons kyk ook na julle poskantore, dat hulle goeie dienste aan u verskaf, sowel as telekommunikasie en uitsaaiwese, radio en televisie. In addition to that, we were also mandated to look after the Universal Service Fund, the NAMCERT, as mentioned by the Honourable Minister, as well as the new one, kit on our block, the electronic signatures, which means ons gaan ook laat julle dan nou elektronies dokumente kan teken. So dat u nie meer in hoef te gaan as u 'n kontrak wil teken nie, maar dat u hom van u foon af kan teken. Vorentoe. Dit is ook dat ons ook wil seker maak onder die universele dienste dat almal ingesluit is. Dit sluit ook in mense wat nie kan sien nie, mense wat nie kan loop nie, mense wat nie kan hoor nie. Dit is nie net om dienste te bring na u van hulle wat vandag hier sit, u kan loop, u kan sien, u kan doen. Dit is ook vir daardie mense wat nie kan gaan om hierdie dienste te hê nie, dat ons spesiale dienste het wat aan hulle kan voorsien. Ek gaan eers met u praat oor die Universal Service Fund. And the Honourable Minister referred to it. It is to ensure that we can bring services to places where we will say it's not economically viable because we have only 50 people living there. Or we have got, it's only place where the tourist goes, there's actually no other activities. We can do so under the Universal Service Fund, and you will see we have a specific focus to reach places where we have got small enterprises or small entrepreneurs, women, children and marginalized groups. We feel that these people are sometimes left out. and we want to have them included. We call it as inclusivity. Also then, we believe, and we believe it very strongly, that ICT is the enabler of socio-economic growth. As u kan deelneem aan dit wat gedoen word deur u foon te gebruik, deur op die internet te kan gaan, na die radio te kan luister, na jou poskantoor te kan gaan, kan nie deel wees van die ekonomie van hierdie land. And we got key policies that are supporting our work. The first one is the National Broadband Policy. The current policy that has just been reviewed asks us that we must make sure that the operators, MTC, Telecom, operators, all of them, must reach at least 80% of the population of this country. As we have now reviewed the policy, this target will go even higher. So we want to make sure that we do not only have geographical coverage, we must actually reach the places where the people are staying. Ons moet die mense bereik waar hulle bly. Hulle moenie hoef kilometers te stap net om 'n oproep te maak. Also, very important is availability and then of course affordability. Die pryse moet nie te hoog wees nie. As u nie die prys kan betaal nie, kan u nie die diens gebruik nie. So is baie belangrik dat ons die pryse afbring, dat dit meer bekostigbaar raak. Also, and this was highlighted, and I'm proud to refer to the new ICT policy that defined the minimum speed of broadband as 25 megabits download, 3 megabits upload. Ons verwag van alle diensverskaffers om hierdie take te bereik. Almal moet hierdie teiken bereik. Dit wil sê die foon wat u tans ken, wat ons sê is 'n 2G foon. Hy kan net SMS en voice maak. Ons wil dit opgradeer. Na 'n foon waarmee jy jou foto's kan neem, waarmee jy jou belasting kan ingee, waarmee jy jou bankdienste kan gebruik. Ons noem hom 'n smartphone. Nou hy moet kan werk op 4G en 5G. So ons vir al die ou ene wegvat en ons wil die nuwe ene inbring. En laaste natuurlik is die Communications Act. This is the legislation or the law that gives us the right to operate, but it also tells us what we must do and what we may not do. Now, the role of CRAN in terms of management of the Universal Service Fund is first, we had to put up separate bank accounts from CRAN's normal bank accounts just for this fund, because we may not mix the two. Funds that has been placed in the fund is there to roll out telecommunications services. It may not be used for anything else. So we got separate bank accounts. Secondly, we do have a look and we do a lot of research to find where the gaps are. Waar daar plekke is waar daar geen dienste aangebied word nie. Dit is waar ons die torings wil opsit. Ons het reeds torings in Mariental. So ek wil nie nog torings hier opsit nie. Hier wil ons sê hulle moet die torings deel met mekaar. Maar ons wil die geld wat vir 'n tweede toring sou gebruik word, wil ons vat en ons wil 'n toring gaan opsit waar daar niks is nie. Sodat ons daar kan dienste verskaf. En dit is die doel van die fund. Also, we will be managing compliance as to how this is done by our operators. Now, the way we do it, we don't just go to the operator and say, please build this tower. We issue a tender. And then the operators can bid for the tender, and the successful bidder then builds the tower from the fund, and we will provide the money to the successful bidder to build the tower. But that's not all. We also ask them, if you build a tower, there must be schools or clinics close to the tower. And for these schools and clinics, you must provide free Wi-Fi for 7 years. So wat ons doen, as ons die toring uitrol, dan moet daar ook of 'n kliniek, 'n gesondheidskliniek wees, of 'n skool. En aan hierdie skool en kliniek moet die operateur Telecom of MTC of wie dit ook al bou, moet hulle dienste verskaf gratis vir 7 jaar. And then, of course, because there's a tower, the people living around that tower also get service. So it's not just that there is only the school can use it. The parents can use it. The school kids can use it when they go home. They can still use the service. And then also we have places, unfortunately, where there's no electricity. So in that case, we provide solar kits to make sure that we can use the sun to provide power. So waar daar nie elektrisiteit beskikbaar is nie, maak ons gebruik van sonkrag om die dienste te verskaf. Now, what we did last year, in the first year, the government funded or provided funds of 145 million over the period of 3 years. Hulle het vir CRAN gegee, 145 miljoen vir 'n periode van 3 jaar. So in the first year, we expanded coverage and included another 4,765 people that did not have service before, that now have access to service. So met die eerste gelde kon ons 4,765 mense bereik wat nie dienste gehad het nie, aan wie dan nou dienste verskaf word. En dit het ingesluit 16 skole en 4 klinieke. We're currently busy with phase 2 for this year. We have 40 million. We are busy rolling out another 11 towers. Ons bou nog 11 torings by in underserved or unserved areas. En as ons klaar is met hierdie torings, sal ons al weer nog dienste kon verskaf aan nog 17 skole en nog 2 klinieke. So we are expanding and expanding. And currently we are planning phase 3. For us, it's also important that it's not only about building towers. It's also how we use the services. So wat CRAN ook doen, uit ons eie fondse uit, ons gaan na die biblioteke toe in verskillende dorpe. En ons maak seker dat hulle rekenaars het en ons het dataspoed daarvan 50 megabit per sekonde. Nou last year we did 2 libraries, one at Gogas here in the Hardap Region and one at Quiz. En wat ons gesien het, as ons dit doen, dan kom die mense na die biblioteek toe. Want dit is 'n plek waar hulle ook 'n aansoek doen vir werk, hulle kan die nuus lees, hulle kan na YouTube kyk, en die kinders kan hulle skoolwerk doen. En hulle kan boeke gaan kyk, wat nie in die biblioteek is nie, maar wat net online op die internet is. En dan beter skoolwerk doen. En dis baie belangrik. En dis nie net vir die Goga self nie, dis ook in die omliggende streek. So die hoof van die biblioteek in Gogas het ons meegedeel dat van ons dit ingebring het. Dit het al meer as 12,000 mense gehad wat die biblioteek besoek om hierdie werk te doen. And going forward, CRAN will also then roll out more and more of the centers within the libraries. We choose the libraries because it's already a safe environment. You can leave your child there and he's in a safe environment to do work. You also, very importantly, have somebody that can assist him, but also can ensure that he's safe online. Your child's safety online, that they do not visit sites that are not meant for children, or sites where they should not belong, is very important. And therefore you need an adult present to keep oversight. Julle kinders moet opgepas word as hulle aanlyn is. Dit is baie belangrik dat daar iemand is wat toesig hou as die ouer nie daar is nie, om seker te maak, hy gaan nie op plekke waar kinders nie moet gaan nie. Hy moet gaan waarvoor hy gekom het om sy skoolwerk te doen. And lastly is, and this is the, as I said, this is the new one, what we call public key infrastructure, which is the electronic signature, which means previously you had to sign with your hand with a pen every paper that you want, whether it is an agreement that you want to buy something. If you give a quotation for somebody, you have to sign it. What we are working on now is that you can do it from your computer or from your phone with an electronic signature that will be recognized the world over. So that also means that if you have a business, you are not restricted to Namibia only. You can also trade with Angola, with Botswana, with Zambia, across the border. And what we'll be using then the postal service, and specifically the courier service of the postal side, to deliver the parcel to where you are. Dit is belangrik dat u nie net hier u besigheid kan bedryf nie. So wat ons met die elektroniese handtekening doen, is dat u kan teken en u kan op jou foon teken of op die rekenaar teken en u kan besigheid doen met iemand in 'n buurland, Botswana, Angola, Zambia, en dan gebruik u die poswese om dit oor te koerier. En dieselfde vir die goed wat inkom. Dit wil sê jou jong entrepreneur wat sê maar in Goggas is, kan nou handel dryf met iemand wat in Luanda en Angola is. En hy hoef nie fisies te gaan om dit te gaan teken nie, ons doen alles aanlyn. And that is why we call it, like we have spoken about the Neckartal Dam, and I understand there's a lot of irrigation that's going to come up at the Neckartal Dam. We have health, we got e-health, telemedicine, but apart from that, het ons digitale infrastruktuur nodig, so that we can be part of the information economy. The more information you have, the more you can use the information to transform lives. Hoe meer kan 'n diens inligting bekom, hoe meer kan julle lewens verander. Want hoe meer kennis bou ons, hoe meer kan ons uitreik buite net na die onmiddellike omgewing en ons kan almal saamwerk daarin. En daarvoor is dit baie belangrik dat ons vertroue bou in die digitale ekonomie. We need to have trust, and to that side we will be speaking specifically to the cybersecurity area. The NAMCERT. The CRAN was tasked to bring up the national NAMCERT. Dit wil sê ons het 'n span wat reageer wanneer daar hulle byvoorbeeld vir u sê, jy mag nie u inligting kry nie tensy u my 3 miljoen betaal. What we call a ransomware attack. Or they steal your information. And that is why NAMCERT is there. We not only keep an eye on what's happening, so that we can tell you before and take certain measures, but we also assist entities when it happens, to be able to circumvent it. And this is very important. So we receive funding from the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology to help us in operationalizing this. And we also not only look at what people are doing, but we also go out to schools and teach them how they must behave online, how they have to report cyberbullying. Ons gaan uit na skole, ons leer die kinders hoe hulle veilig aanlyn kan bly. Ons vertel hulle wat hulle met 'n bully online moet doen, moet hulle report, moet hulle dit doen, moenie jou ID deel nie. Do not share your PIN code for your bank. Ons gee ook daai opleiding sodat mense leer as ek hierdie volg, dan is ek veilig aanlyn en ek kan my lewe lei aanlyn, transaksies doen, flieks kyk, net wat ons wil doen. And this is why it is so important for us to have a national cert. Ons gee hierdie dienste gratis, ons hoef nie daarvoor te betaal nie, maar ons is daar om te leer hoe bly jy veilig aanlyn. So what we have done already in 2026, of course we appointed the team. We also have agreements with international partners, so that if say something happens in the UK, they will inform us before it happens in Namibia, and we can already put measures in place to prevent it from happening as one of such thing. Also then, we have SIM registration, soos jy weet as jy 'n SIM-kaart koop, moet jy jou naam, jou adres, jou ID en alles gee. Dis ook om te verhoed dat mense wat nie veronderstel is om daai SIM-kaart te gebruik nie, dit gebruik, maar ook om as hulle dit gebruik vir misdade, dat ons hulle kan opspoor. En daarom is SIM-registrasie baie belangrik. En tot op hierdie oomblik het ons al 2.788.000 SIM-kaarte geregistreer. Dit is ook, jy sien, is meer as die bevolking, meer as die mense in Namibië. Die rede is, baie van julle het 2 SIM-kaarte. Want you would like to use the prepaid specials on this network and the prepaid specials on this network, so dat jy 2. So al 2 moet geregistreer wees. Ook baie belangrik, 'n kind mag nie 'n SIM-kaart registreer nie. Sy ouer moet eers toestemming gee dat hy dit mag registreer. En dit is baie belangrik, want 'n kind is 'n jongeling tot op die ouderdom van 18 jaar. Sodat u weet hy het 'n foon, dat u weet waarvoor hy die foon gebruik, en dat u hom kan raad gee hoe om die foon te gebruik. Dankie. Dis die einde van my presentation vandag.
Thank you very much, Ms. Ronell. Our next presenter is going to be from MTC. And this will be Mr. Kevin Hamuhuluma. Mr. Kevin Hamuhuluma. Kindly give him a round of applause, please.
Good morning. Honorable Minister, Honorable Governor, Director of Ceremony, allow me to stand on the protocol already established. I'm Kevin Muhuluma from MTC. I'm going to take you through of what we have done in Hardap region and the country at large. The core commitments of MTC. MTC is a mobile telecommunication company. We are the leading operators in Namibia. We have over 2.6 million subscribers and 1,194 network towers, which we have. So the main aim is to provide reliable services to postpaid, prepaid, and to enable customers or people in all country. You know, the vision statement of our company is to be the best digital enabler so that we can meet our customers' needs and to improve the lives of our customers through innovative digital solution, highly skilled and human capital. That is our mission. What we value integrity, customer centricity, stakeholder inclusivity, and innovation. Here I'm trying to show you how we have covered the Namibian population. You know, so we have covered 95% of Namibian population, and like I mentioned before, we have 2.6 active subscribers throughout the country. The key milestones. As you can see here, we have started in 1995 with GSM, where we were just doing SMS and calls. So we went through all the developments, and we are here at 5G now, where we have started launching 5G since 2005, and we are still proceeding further with 5G-A. So this is just to show you how we have transformed all the way until currently. What does MTC mean to the community? Like I mentioned earlier, we have 1,094 towers, and we have covered 4,617 kilometers of optic fiber. So we have fiber already in Mariental. And then down here, you can see the coverage of Hardap. We are at 93% in Hardap on 2G. That is 2G population coverage. And Hardap here with 4G, we are 85% coverage. And like the minister have mentioned, we have covered also the health facilities, which is 94% on 3G and 94% on 2G, and schools 90% and 4G respectively. Population is 85, 81, 92 on health facilities and 88 on schools. This is countrywide, which we have covered. You heard even from from CRAN that they want us to do e-healthy. This is part of the e-healthy and the schools. So what we have in Hardap region, we have 57 sites, and 2 of these sites are located in Mariental, in town itself. The rest are in other constituents, and we have covered 95% of this of Hardap region with 4G. And fiber is available in Mariental, so we just need customers to connect to their houses. We have fiber already in Mariental. And down here, it shows the constituents, how each and every constituent is covered. You can see Daweb constituent is the least covered constituent, and Rehoboth East urban constituent is 99% covered. So the rest are on average of 80 to 90. This is just to show you the 4G coverage in Hardap region. So these are the towers we have, which consist of 4G. And this is how the coverage looks like when we do the predictions on our tools. So we have, like it mentioned there, that we have covered 95% of population coverage with 4G. That is what it means. Current activities in the region, I'm a bit sorry with this one. We thought it was just a typo error. It's in Karas region. It's not in Hardap. Yes, so that is our apology. But however, we have expansions of transmission backbone, which is fiber. We are doing Project Buffalo. This is countrywide. We are trying to optimize our towers, which we have, so that we can cover more population and to avoid leaving out some other people in the process. CSI, social responsibilities. We have built 4 classrooms and a storeroom at Hron Dry Primary School in 2023. Why is it, some people might ask that is a bit old, but mind you, it's not only Hardap, we are doing countrywide. But Hardap did receive or benefited from our social responsibility in 2025. So we are doing almost in each and every region, we do things like this. So, and we want to continue, or we are still continuing with giving bursaries to students throughout Namibia. Whoever applies, they get, so that we can educate our nation. That is part of the social responsibility MTC is doing. What is next for MTC? Like I mentioned here, we are talking of how we started, the SMS and voice with 2G in 1990. And then we are here at 2025. We have started deploying 5G advanced. This means 5G advanced. And these are the stuff which we can connect, sensing, connecting vehicles, PIoT, RedCap, 5G to B, FWA, videos. I can mention a few, just to show that, okay, this is where we are heading as MTC. And we have started already with this process. The challenges which we have is theft and vandalism. That is one challenge which we have observed, that we install some equipment, but the thieves come and steal this equipment. And you will find that most of the people are housing these people. They see that, okay, this is a stolen equipment. They don't even report to the nearest police station. And we still have to reinvest money instead of progressing, but we are going backwards because of theft and vandalism. And then the other challenge is 2G, 3G, sunset horizon. We are given until, I think, 2030, if I'm not mistaken, to sunset 2G and 3G. And we have already started with that process to sunset some of these technologies. And the smartphone adaptation to basic phone penetration. This is also a challenge. We have seen that, okay, most of the people, they cannot afford some of them, but we have started with the smartphone, which is a cheaper version of a smartphone. And then we are trying to educate our customers how to use it, because most, especially the elders, we have seen that they have challenges in using the smartphones. So they are still stuck with the Tamagotchis. But as we switch off or as we sunset some of these technology, they might be left out, and we don't want to leave them out. We want inclusivity, so we are working towards that. That's another challenge. And then the other, this one is not a challenge, it's just some advancement which we have done. We have started with eSIM, registering eSIMs, so you can convert your SIM card to eSIM. So this is one of the technologies which we have already started doing. I thank you.
Thank you very much. As we proceed, our next presentation is from Telecom Namibia, and our presenter will be Mr. Calvin Moniswaswa. Kindly give him a round of applause.
Thank you, Director of Ceremonies. Honorable Emma Theofelus, Minister of ICT, and of course our Honorable Governor. I could hear Google and ICT, so, you know, in other languages, you know, there's still work to be done for all of us, you know, to ensure that those are also translated. Of course, I'll ride on the protocols observed, and also say happy connected Independence Day ahead of the time, and also greetings from Telecom Namibia. Yeah, our presentation will focus on key developments that we will be undertaking, ICT developments, specifically in the Hardap region. As you know, that the Hardap region, like Honorable Minister mentioned, is a very unique and in fact interesting, you know, both physical and human geography, which presents its own unique challenges and opportunities in terms of the landscape, you know, and also the population structure. Now, from a rollout point of view, however, Telecom Namibia, with its mandate to develop or implement infrastructure, telecommunication infrastructure across the country, we are aware of those you know, challenges and also opportunities in terms of the physical geography and the human geography of the region. The key mandate of Telecom Namibia is simple, to ensure that the Namibian nation is connected. Now, we run quite a vast backbone network across the country, over 13,000 kilometers of fiber. We also are connecting the country internationally through various submarine cables, such as WAX, such as Equiano, and also SAT-3. We still have some CCOM to ensure that the country is connected outside the, to the global, markets. We are 100% owned by the Namibian government. Now, Telecom was established in August 1992 and functioning as a commercial entity. And we were, until August 2025, under our holding company, NPTH, which was then dissolved at that point. So we are now directly under, under government. And we, with that sole mandate to connect, the nation. In terms of the core focus at the moment is really the fiber rollout, specifically for Hardap region. You will see that as I move forward, that the concentration of projects are Mariental, mostly, Rehoboth and Aranos. If you look at the official states, over 85% of the population of Hardap is actually, in aggregate, only the 3 areas, including the rural. Mariental, urban, rural, Rehoboth, urban, rural, and Aranos. That's where the biggest population of Hardap region is. Over 85%, I think, Honorable Governor. So if you cover those, you have basically probably going to achieve what the minister has directed, in terms of the population coverage. So we have invested about 187 million into fiber infrastructure. FTTX, meaning connecting businesses and residentials to the fiber network to ensure reliable connectivity and faster connectivity. Now, this translates to just under 27,000 houses, of which already 12,000 are already live on the network across the region. The south includes, the CARAs, but predominantly previous projects were focusing on, arrangement. That's where the biggest chunk of the investment went. But the future investments, you will see that we are in CARAs, in the CARAs region. So these are the specific projects that we will be rolling out this financial year, and some will spill over to the next financial year. And as I have indicated, you will see that Mariental, Rehoboth are still taking a share of that. The highlighted areas are the areas that we will be focusing on in terms of connecting the houses and connecting the businesses. Now, those are already, in terms of business cases, they are already concluded, and it's a matter of now planning, network planning, and obviously rolling out. So it's going to be done this financial year, and then continue into the next financial year for those four projects. So those 4 projects will connect quite a number of households. Now, moving forward, again, in terms of the business cases that we are also still doing. Now, what we are saying is that the rollout is supported by, business cases. We look at the population, we look at the businesses in a particular area, and schools and clinics in a particular area to inform the rollout program, okay, within the financial resources that are available. So those are also earmarked at dates to be determined. Soon they are already on the plan, and as soon as the business cases and funding are in place, we shall roll out those fiber infrastructure in those areas that we have highlighted. In terms of mobile, we do have about 25 sites, in the Hardap region only. Now, all the equipment that we are bringing recently is 5G ready. So, meaning that as soon as our core network is upgraded, the project is ongoing now, we will be able to switch on 5G, because all sites that we are ordering now are 5G ready. Now, in terms of Hardap, you can see that we still have 3G, 4G sites. And as I said, we over the years, so far we have implemented 25 sites in the Hardap region. Now, going forward, these sites are now planned to be implemented in the Hardap region. You can closely check. You might see your village there. We are focusing both in urban and rural area. So just raise your hand if you see your village on the screen. So I think, like Honorable Minister mentioned, some of the biggest challenges, I'll come to that a little bit later at the end. Let's focus maybe on the positives now for now. Is that I think we should be able to, you'll see more bias towards, maybe Mariental, maybe those rural sites, just surrounding of Mariental, Rehoboth, and Aranos. Like I said, the biggest population is in aggregate is really in those three areas. And again, I mean, Karas is quite, from a technology deployment point of view, we know that the physical geography is quite unique in terms of a population density on the human geography side of things, just under 1, per square kilometer, meaning you can drive probably 150 kilometers without meeting a person. I think we can obviously, see how this beautiful, region is structured from a physical geography point of view. So the rollout of the network it makes it a little bit difficult in these areas because you need to have more towers to cover the vast, populations in the Hardap region. But I think with these rollouts and also with initiatives from the regulator, there is a work in progress. Now, I will highlight a few items that we mean to be critical success factors. Now, the Honorable Minister mentioned, land acquisition. I think local authorities are in the driving seat as far as land acquisitions are concerned. So we are also calling upon that it's really a dependency. We need land. We need environmental clearance to be done. We need power. So power is also one of, a factor that we need to work out as a country because, to put up ICT equipment, we need power in those areas. The other area that we are promoting is infrastructure sharing because we do have our colleagues and ourselves, Powercom, have towers across the country. We are advocating for sharing infrastructure so that we are not duplicating investments. Now, through Powercom, we are establishing towers across the regions, as you have seen also in Karas, where it says new. We are focusing on the vehicle called Powercom, which is one of our subsidiaries currently, to implement those towers. So we are looking at a scenario where, and the Honorable Minister also promised us to work on this with other counterparts. How fast can we, how can we improve the process to get approvals for land and, completing environmental assessments and so on, so that we are able to roll out at a faster pace to connect our communities. So those are some of the challenges that we are really experiencing. Now, there is another interesting one. This is also quite a good initiative for the country. Now, we are in discussions, in fact, at a quite advanced stage with the Minister of Education to ensure that all schools are connected to a minimum of 25 megabits per second via the various technologies, predominantly fiber and air fiber, the wireline and the air fiber. So these schools, we have already been given go-ahead to start with the 287 schools. The scoping was already done, and each school shall get 25 megabits per second. And in the Hardap region, you can see we have prioritized together with the Minister of Education that 18 schools, will be covered in the first phase, and those are the schools that we have, provided for. I'm sure you can see a school where your son or daughter is going. I mean, soon, they will be connected to a minimum of 25 megabits per second internet. So this is a big project which we are going ahead, and we are very excited because every government agency has a digital transformation strategy, and our role is to support and ensure that these strategies and plans for our government are implemented. So there are 18 schools that will be targeted for the first phase. Now the idea is that over 3 years, all the 2,000 schools should be connected to 25 megabits per second, so that we promote e-learning, and obviously with this connectivity, we are looking at also the Ministry of Health, to promote also e-health and all these benefits that comes with connectivity. Now, Honorable Minister and Honorable Governor, in Hardap, we also have presence. So if you need support from Telecom, we are here. We have offices here. We have 3 technical operations offices. We also have 3 commercial offices. In the teleshops, there is also a centralized contact center experience, and where you can get us, whether online or by calling us. Also 24/7 network operation center, where faults can be reported to ensure that there's support. Now, our team is, maybe I can ask, with your permission, Honorable Minister, our team just to stand up to raise, so that the audience can, the connected audience can see. So these are some of the leaders in the area. And I'm informed that they are regularly in contact with the regional office, even of late. So that's a good thing to ensure alignment, continuous alignment, because they are empowered to engage communities and generate information that informs the rollout of technologies. So we are not dictating from head office to say, you must go and put in Aranos, go and put in Stamprit. No, they recommend, after engaging the communities, the governor's office, and so on, for us to sort of follow a more informed rollout plan. So, Honorable Minister, Honorable Governor, the challenges I want to add to what my colleague that was here mentioned is that I think we are appealing to the communities, because these colleagues that you see on the screen, they are very busy also. The country wants to develop ICT infrastructure. There are clear objectives to connect communities, schools, clinics, and government offices. However, these colleagues are working against those objectives. For them, they want to distract, they want to vandalize, they want to, So there are scenarios and initiatives that we are taking. Of course, we will not release some of them in case they are watching us also, because NBC is here. But we are working closely with the Namibian police. We have escalated some of them to our ministers. There will be initiatives of long-term, medium to long-term nature. And also we have short-term that we are basically working on with the police. So these are the enemies of progress. And if you see suspicious activities around any infrastructure, because they are there, where this infrastructure is implemented, we need to treat it as a national infrastructure, as our asset, because it's a government infrastructure, that it's not vandalized by these communities. I think that from Telecom, those are really some of the activities that we are pushing in the Hardap region, and we are there, putting on the table our commitment to ensure that we continue with the rollout and with proper service quality, so that we have a happy, connected nation. Honorable Minister, Honorable Governor, I think from Telecom, that is really the message that we wanted to share with the connected audience this morning. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We're proceeding further. Hold on for me, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, we're proceeding further with our presentations. And this will be our last presenter for the day, and this will be from NBC. It's Mr. Peter Denk. Kindly give him a round of applause.
Honorable Minister, Governor, Acting CRO, also traditional councillors. Thank you very much, ED as well. I'd like to just allow me to stand on the protocol that was so eloquently observed by Madam Director of Ceremonies as well as the Minister. Minister, I also just want to declare that this is my home region. I'm declaring it in advance, Minister. Did I get Kalranza Husagri? Yeah. Allow me to continue with this presentation. Of course, I do it on behalf of the Director General, Mr. Sandy Samilo. He has asked me to do this. So I'm giving an operational update, but what I'm saying is that is Mr. Samilo. It's not me. So if we look at where we are going is the strategic triangle and this is updated for 2020 to 2025. We're looking at our strategic pillars, performance and compliance, cost reduction and revenue. Under that, we always strive to at least generate a minimum of 100 million of our own revenue. That is our strategic triangle for 2020 to 2025. Very soon we are going to update it to look at probably going towards 2030. Our performance for the past financial year has been that we, allow me to go back. Our financial performance had been, our projections have been to create our own revenue of about 102 million for the 2025-2026 financial year, against an estimated operational cost of 507 million. Government subsidy allocated amounts to 360.5 million, Governor. These are figures we need to very carefully look at as we talk about our expansion plans and also what we do throughout the year. And then also another aspect, apart from the government subsidy, which cover a lot of the operational expenses, we have what we call the capital expenditure allocation, what we call CAPEX. CAPEX was allocated 291 million from 2021 to 2025-2026 financial year. And just to look at the breakdown, we started with a CAPEX investment of 2 million, and this was in 2021-2022. This was mostly used for IT equipment. And then 2022-23, $27 million allocation. 23-24 is 62 million. 80 million, 2024-2025. This year, this financial year that is coming to an end now, we were allocated 120 million for CAPEX. Under those, I just want to briefly look at what we have done under the under that CAPEX projects. You will see that we have developed our own wide area network that is now to do with the internet and so on. Then supply and delivery of flyaway kits. What we are doing now is that to be a bit more mobile and agile, we have acquired a number of flyaway kits. What the colleagues are now broadcasting with is a flyaway kit. So instead of us using the old OB van where, you know, sometimes if you travel a long way, you need to maybe take 2 days to travel to a faraway area. Now we just simply put that flyaway kit in a van, and within 2-3 hours, depending on the location, we will be able to be on air. Of course, other infrastructure hardware we acquired as well, supply and delivery of laptops and computers. Also of interest, the Honorable Governor, is the civil works for expansion of FM. We know that radio is, as is in many rural areas, radio is key, and we have done that because also I know that within the region, FM is a challenge. We have done that to improve FM. In Palila Island, also in this motto of including everyone, we have improved infrastructure, actually put new infrastructure, equipment and power systems to ensure that the people of Impalila Island in the Zambezi region are also not left out. Then we have a number of other equipment that we have acquired. We did a new OB van. This OB van, you would see, we would use that for a number of major productions in elections, other major productions. These are full HD. They have been upgraded to HD and 4K. You would see the quality. If you look at NBC now, the quality is quite improved. I'm talking about visual quality that you see on the air. So these are part of all the, part of what we have done under the CAPEX projects. Supply and delivery of set-top boxes. You know, the set-top box is just it's a decoder. We talk about STB set-top box. It's the decoder, the similar one that we now have for the DTT, where you simply connect it to a dish, or in the case of DTT, you connect it to a antenna, and you have the option of selecting several channels. That is a set-top box. It's a decoder. So these are what we have done under CAPEX. Also, the part that I like is our achievements, where we can brag about our things. And you can see the lovely lady there is, we all know her, Nina Katangana, our presenter for Daily Roundup. She gives us, she updates us between 6 and 7. It's becoming a very popular program now. But enough said about that. I think I want to go to the key achievements over the past period under review. You know, also we have NBC Plus, the app that you can use to watch on your phone. We have seen a considerable growth over the years. We are sitting now at more than 61,000 subscribers. And that is quite good, and it's still growing. It's becoming quite popular because it's so convenient. If you have it in your hand, you can follow what we do wherever you are. Local content performance, this is also another feather in our cap, I believe. We have increased local TV content. And I mean, our colleagues of CRAN would be very interested in this because they set targets for us. We have over-exceeded the target. We have delivered 68% of local content above the set target of 30%. We don't talk of radio. Radio is almost 100%, 97% under the period, during the period under review. We also do training. We have internship programs. A total of 94 interns and 20 apprentices have gone through our hands. And we have, in the various departments since 1st of April, up to date. Also, we have submitted audited financials. Some of them make the news, but I think it's enough said about that. But we have submitted. We are getting up. We are now up to date 24-25 financial years, and they have been audited by the Auditor General. NBC also is, which is of great help. NBC migrated from IFRS to IPSAS. IPSAS is now the tool, or what you can say, the standard under which public institutions like the NBC would be audited. So it's the, I'm under correction, it's the International Public Service Accounting Service Standard or something like that. I can give the correct naming of that acronym if you would so wish, just after I have a look at it here. So it's from the 1st of April that I think IPSAS also gives us opportunity to make better decisions and do better auditing, I believe. You know, these are major undertakings, and we just concluded last year very successful coverage of the regional and local government elections. I think is for the first time that we were able to say that we have covered the length and breadth of Namibia delivering results. We are seeing colleagues like Lukman Klute here and Mr. Simon Isaac. They were part of the team that, thank you very much. They are part of a team that really contributed successfully to our coverage of elections as they happen. You know, with the regional local elections, what is exciting is that results are announced at the polling stations, and our colleagues were on the spot. And also, it's not only the NBC, we have strong collaboration with our sister entities like NAMPA, New Era, and then of course also Ministry of Information, Communication and Technology. What we are doing here is also part of that collaboration. You see the colleagues of MICT and the equipment they are using. We have integrated that to be able to do this live broadcast and to put Hardap on the map, Honorable Governor. The mighty Hardap, I must add. We also had, you know, we have a new era of AI. We are not left behind. We are actively looking for partnerships to train our people in the use of AI. So NBC employees attended AI training conducted by partner Deutsche Welle. It's high-level experts that allowed us to give training to our colleagues, reporters, producers, presenters across the board, so that we make sure that when we use AI, that the human oversight is front and center of what we do with AI. I think it's very important that we do that. Yes, and then of course we are international. We part of this region. But yeah, he was the winner of that award. Then of course we continue to train on SDGs. We also know that SDGs comes to an end in 2030. So we are looking at how we are positioning ourselves to train on SDGs and see what is going forward. The issue of gender-based violence is quite a major issue. We have, through partnerships of the Southern African Broadcasting Association, which we are the president currently. We hold the presidency. Mr. Stanley Similo is the president of SABA. And through collaboration of the UN and SABA, we were able to train our reporters and producers and presenters again on the issue of gender-based violence, and looking differently at how we report, because if you talk of a victim of gender-based violence, you would do better talking of a survivor. I think it's more positive. It's more stronger than saying a victim of gender-based violence instead of a survivor. So just an example, these are terms that we are incorporating in our reporting, in our presentation of programs and production of documentaries. Of course, during December, we kept people in front of the TV, because what we did, we offered them the content. This was quite good, because we are competing. There is a plethora of other offerings that people are attracted to, but I think we managed to keep our Namibian people in front of the television during that period. I think this machine also has said, you had enough of bragging. It's refusing to move. Yeah, another very exciting development that is on the horizon for the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation, and this This will take care of a lot of challenges in terms of the coverage, universal coverage of television and radio across Namibia. This is the direct-to-home initiative that we are embarking on. The aim is to provide 100% network connectivity to all Namibian people on all NBC platforms through cost-effective broadcasting technology. So I'm explaining. So instead, the direct-to-home means the use of satellite. So if you use the satellite covers the entire country. So you don't need, with DTT, we were able to only cover 74.5% of the entire Namibian population. And then also because of geography issues, we're not able always to put up our towers in the areas that we would like to. So, but with satellite, you don't have that challenge. If you go to satellite, you are able to cover the entire country. It's also very cost-effective compared to DTT, because DTT you still use the network towers and so on. So I'm sure we have all seen that. I think towards the middle of last year, we signed an agreement through which the Central Procurement Board of Namibia, having an oversight, NBC signed a contract with Intelsat. It's a satellite provider, global satellite leader. So through that, we would then go onto satellite and start the DTH rollout. Now, just a little bit more on that. Implementation will go over a period of probably 8 months, and includes a phased deployment strategy, public awareness campaigns, and the launch of high definition thematic channels. This is where I'm very excited about. So the channels that we will be looking at is education, sports, agriculture, health, music, and a dedicated 24-hour parliamentary channel, Honorable Minister. The DTH platform will transform Namibia's landscape by ensuring universal access. It will also take, at home, Honorable Governor, it will take care of the issue of FM. Because through DTH, you will be able to, when you are in your home, able to access radio without any of the challenges that we currently experience. So the channels that we are looking at are the following. News and current affairs. We want to provide a 24/7 news channel with specialized segments on local, regional, and international news. Honorable Governor, this and traditional leaders and all of us that are here, church leaders and others. So this channel would be very hungry for content. So you would find that we would have several initiatives, such as probably regional bulletins, where you will focus a bulletin simply what is happening within the Hardap region. So you would have an event like this would be summarized and would be broadcast. Mr. Levine, issues of education, we would definitely zoom into that, because it's one of the areas that always we create a lot of news around that. Yeah. And local programs, the channel there would be focusing on local culture, history, and issues relevant to the Namibian audience. We would have a movie channel that is dedicated specifically to Namibian films, local cinemas. I mean, we will develop our blockbusters and we will show them there. Independent films is also. Just speaking on films, Honorable Minister, during our first, we have seen Mukurop. Mukurop is now in his second phase. We have seen Mukurop 1. In the Hardap region, we produced 2 films, one in Aranos, and we actually not just produced them, we filmed them on location. Aranos was one of the locations where we produced a very beautiful film, The Funeral. And then the other one is Rehoboth, the other location, Rehoboth itself, where we focused on the young people. It's called Instant Love. We are going to soon broadcast those movies again, so just look out for that. So already we are seeing the potential of the Hardap region, and of course Claras as well, with for filming and special locations, Honorable Governor. We will also have a 24-hour sports channel broadcasting both local and international content. We have seen now the issue of Senegal and Morocco on the AFCON. So through that channel, we will provide a more in-depth. Some people say that, yeah, we will not go into the politics of sport, but I have my views on how CAF and others have dealt with this matter. Also, we have a music channel, parliamentary channel, as we spoke about it, that will be 24 hours. When Parliament is not in session, we would have additional content that will support that channel so that it goes 24/7. Educational channel also targeting schools, Mr. Levine, with programs tailored to different age groups. I've just learned that somebody can even be 90 when to go to school. So this will be able to give us opportunity to complete the grade 12, even if you are 90. I'm finishing, but Madam Director. The health and channel, agriculture channel is also there. Just in terms of the decoder distribution, when we are rolling out DTT, we will be distributing a total of 150,000 set-top boxes over a 3-year period. So annually, we will put out 50,000 of them. I think, and the Director General has been on record saying that the areas where we are currently lagging in terms of our coverage, Honorable Governor, I think Kalgrant is one of the areas where you don't see, people are struggling to get access to television. So we have been saying, the Director General have been saying that when we distribute those set-top boxes, those decoders, these areas will get preference, meaning they will get first first preference when we distribute these 150 set-top boxes. This will be this 150,000 represent about 20% of the estimated households that we see that was revealed during the 2023 population and housing census. Also, what is good about the set-top boxes is that there are key functionalities to support NBC's digital broadcasting strategy. So if you don't pay your TV license, we will be able to do some things that will not get you the access to those. So we will be able to deactivate the services. And then what is better is also an integrated customer management system. It will seamlessly integrate and connects with integrated television licensing system to manage subscriber data, access, and service delivery. So you could tell your advertiser exactly the numbers of people that are watching you. And of course, it helps with service delivery. Lastly, Madam Director, is just to acknowledge the support that we get from our line ministry, the Ministry of Information and Communication, New Era, NAMPA. And in addition to that, MTC, Telecom, and Parates also. We do get a lot of support from them in terms of carrying out our mandate. And as well as CRAN, we do get, and we'd like to acknowledge that support, because collaboration is key if we want to do the best that we can for our Namibian people. And when we speak, just a large part on that, when we speak of collaboration, we have seen now the gentleman from Telecom and also MTC presented the issue of how cable theft is rife, and it denies people access to information and access to service. I think we, as NBC, together with those entities, we can work together to, first of all, create awareness around this issue, and then also make people let people understand that if you destroy the infrastructure, you destroy service delivery, you destroy the need for people to have access to valuable information. Our NBC Plus platform, like I said, is growing by the day. And we are seeing consistent increase, monthly increase, and we're still going to grow that. With that, I say thank you. Bye, Danki. Kei Gangans.
Thank you very much, Mr. Denk. I think we needed a whole day for Mr. Denk to just take us through, because NBC clearly has a lot that they've been up to. In that regard, ladies and gentlemen, next on our program is our discussion. However, because of time, I would ask that we kindly keep it as short as possible, so discussions and questions. Do I have a roaming mic? Or is this one? Oh, this one is working now. Okay, so I can just kindly assist me. So for those of you that might have questions for our presenters that were just here, or you need an understanding of something, kindly keep it very brief. Or if you have a contribution to make towards the discussion, kindly just make it as brief as possible, just so that we can round up our program for the day.
Yeah, good afternoon, especially Honorable Minister. My contribution is just that my main concern is inclusivity. And with that, what I mean is right now there's a part of our population which have got a smartphone and they've got access to information. But we have two opposite sides, either side of that. On the one side, we have, and I'll go to the more affluent side, the businesses who need better than what we currently have. And I'm going to touch on the currently discussed or considered satellite internet services, Starlink. I think there is some hesitation about it, but it's not only a benefit for business. There's a lot of people who will say that Starlink is expensive, but there's another side to it, that one terminal can cover a whole village, a whole settlement, a rural settlement, and provide connectivity, and then it becomes a lot cheaper. And with that, just adding on to that, is also the issue of, see, I'm following history and current events quite accurately. If we look at disasters, how they happen, and a disaster can be a natural disaster. We are familiar with those in Marintal. We are known to be an area where flooding happens, and then middle of the night, it's a case of police officers having to run around house to house, telling people to get up and so on. So there needs to be an improved method of communication. And I previously on other platforms suggested, radio towers throughout the community where emergency services can communicate directly with the community, irrespective of what happens to the existing infrastructure, i.e. we know that if severe weather conditions may disrupt the existing cell towers, for example, or even the signal might just go. We've had that happen before. And then exactly those who need the information most are not getting it. And there it ties on to the issue of what we know as a Tamagotchi. So with that method then, we covering all bases. But there's another angle to inclusivity which I want to touch on, and that is issue of cost. So we all know what a typical Aware or I'm not sure about the TN name for their package, Jaiva, I believe, what it costs. Now, I just want to make the point, I've traveled a lot through the world and I've seen a lot of things. And for example, in the UK, just an example, the minimum wage in the UK is around £10 per hour. And for £31.50, I've just looked it up as we said now, just to refresh. For £31.50, you get 1 month, 30 days of unlimited text, unlimited data, and unlimited minutes. Completely unlimited for 30 days, for 3 hours of your work at minimum wage. So, in other words, if we want that in Namibia, and I think that should be our aim, 3 hours work, so let's say 60 Namibia dollars, and it should give us a whole month of unlimited data, unlimited calls, unlimited text. Because if the UK can do it with infinitely higher wages, infinitely higher property costs, why can we not do it? Instead, what we see executives of parastatals earning millions upon millions, and at the cost of who? Those on the ground suffering. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's take another question.
Morning, thank you. My question is for CRAN. How do you regulate the price to the last user of the services from the providers? That's the one. The other one is when it comes to MTC, you, for instance, advertise an ultra aware for 30 days, but it's only 16 gig and it's not unlimited. Can you explain to us, together with NBC, just for watching the NBC news at 8 o'clock in the evening on your NBC Plus, how much does it cost? How much does it cost per megabyte to watch that news item at NBC? If you do your calculations together, I would love to hear that. Because your data we receive and your services you rendered does not match each other. The last one is Telecom Namibia. Gibeon is one of the largest villages, if not the largest one, in Hardap Region. Why is your services so poor at Gibeon village? Why is there almost zero cell phone reception of Telecom Namibia at Gibeon? And last one is for NBC. Why did you never take your digital services to Gibeon? We only have NBC since independence. I thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Let us try and keep the questions very brief, kindly, for the sake of time.
Mine is rather a concern. This is directed to CRAN, Honorable Minister and Honorable Governor. We are subjected to, in the offices that we serve as politicians and political administrators, we are subjected to cyberbullying. How are we being protected? And is there a regulation that can assist us in fighting cyberbullying? Freedom of speech came with a lot of freedoms where our politicians and as well as us officials are being attacked on social media. Another is the sensational journalism, especially with online newsletters that has mushroomed our pages, especially in Rehoboth. I'm the PRO of Rehoboth Town Council, and currently we are experiencing attacks and serious negative spread of information, negative information on social media through newsletters, online newsletters. We are trying to establish whether these newsletters are registered and the journalists are also have some credibility. So how can CRAN and even the Ministry of MICT assist our officers with this regard? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I believe that is all the questions we have. All right, I'll just take the last two questions and then we move on to the answering session.
Good morning, Charlotte Stephanus. Mine is just a short question on the presentation of MTC. What is green horizon on the sunset? I think something like that you mentioned about. Just to elaborate a little bit about it. Thank you.
Pass the mic on.
All right, thank you. My name is Hans from Gibeon. Mine is actually just with respect to MTC. Just to allude to what my colleague actually said here, is Gibeon actually the largest village in the whole of the south? So mine is the MTC network is very poor in Gibeon. It's 4G, standard network, but it actually almost goes down sometimes to less than 4G, maybe 3G, and sometimes. So the network coverage, even with MTC, is very bad when it comes to Gibeon as well. So maybe why is it that the Gibeon network cannot be improved? Maybe the tower is, I think, a little bit outdated in my opinion, I guess. I'm very ignorant on this, but what can be done to improve the network? Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, now for the answering round, I believe there were quite a number of questions that were directed to our stakeholders. The first question, I would like to ask if Honorable Minister will be able to address that one, or should I give that one to the operators? All right. So our operators, kindly assist us with the first gentleman's question. Who is able to address that one for us, or should I just pinpoint? All right. CRAN is ready to answer the question. Kindly hand them the mic.
Thank you very much. In terms of applications before CRAN, as we explained to the media, we will make a decision at the end of March, which means within the next few days. I have to point out we've got several satellite providers in Namibia already. The operators behind me also offer satellite services as well as newcomers. Those that are following the news online would have seen the launch of OneWeb. They illustrated their services, I think, as today, they are supporting an online auction at Hardap, and they indicated that the installation took just 30 minutes. They are offered by some of the private smaller licensees. We have licensed 4 of them at the beginning of this year to provide services. We don't only have large licenses, we also have smaller SME guys. In terms of the data pricing, as we speak, CRAN is finalizing a study on the affordability of data in Namibia, and that will give rise to tariff regulations once completed. What we have noticed that in the last 3 years, data pricing have started to decrease. All licensees are providing a range of products. It's not a single project that you can choose of. There's always a range of products depending on what your needs are. For the other questions, I will leave it to the operators as it pertains to their services.
All right.
Thank you.
Next operator to answer the question directed to them. Telecom?
All right, MTC here.
Oh, MTC is up.
Okay. Well, good morning. I'm Erastus Tohafeni. I'm the coordinator for network development. I'll quickly just touch on the 2 questions that were directed to MTC. I think the first one was that of one of the contributors asking for clarity in as to say, what do we really mean by 2G, 3G sunset? Well, 2G, 3G, 4G, these are actually just generations of technology. And as the years go by, the technology evolves. And that means we need to do away with the legacy technologies and go for the new technologies that comes with much more faster network connectivity. And by 2G and 3G today, we would want to say they are outdated. And that's why we want to get rid of them. And why do we want to get rid of them? The frequencies that are currently being used by 2G or 3G, we can actually refarm it and use it for 4G as well as 5G. I believe that should be clear. Okay. And the other question or contribution was regarding Gibeon that is experiencing poor network connectivity. Well, like we indicated, when we come here, we want to share notes. We want to hear what our customers are experiencing out there. There might be some issues that our systems are not picking up, and only through engagements like this are we able to hear of some of these problems. So that is one of the problems that we are going to investigate and make sure that it's resolved.
Our next operator, please.
Thank you very much, Director of Ceremonies. Let me touch on the pricing first, quickly, just to confirm that there's work being done, of course, systematically over time. But the feedback we have as far as telecom is concerned on our mobile packages, it's quite positive because we have a range of offers under the Jiva product line, where you can actually choose what suits your scenario. We have unlimited packages, and I think CRAN has also done a study, and some feedback we got is that we are making quite good progress, but I think the inputs are also quite acceptable and valid because we continue to do. Now, we also just need to create awareness that in terms of our efforts to ensure affordability, it has to take into account some of the investments we are making, because now we are putting in investment into communities and the businesses and so on. So we need to strike a balance to ensure that there are no losses, while the communities also get affordable services. But we are happy to listen to our customers, because our customers have told us that Jiva is actually probably the best, some of our packages. But of course, they always extend and say, but the network, is why we are pushing some of these projects to roll out to ensure that we improve the connectivity. So feel free to visit our teams just so that they can maybe assist with the correct package for your scenario. All ranges are there, unlimited. You can buy a 1 day unlimited, or choose time, or 1 month unlimited packages are there. That is on the mobile. On the fixed broadband as well, we recently submitted to the regulator, and we got positive feedback that our tariffs have been approved. There was a tariff rebalancing where we are bringing more price benefits to the consumers. And when we say unlimited, we mean truly unlimited. We are not limiting you. So we are not applying a cap. If you download, more than abnormal, we still allow you to enjoy the service. So those have been implemented and announced on the fixed broadband to ensure that affordability is really addressed. But we take note of the input. As we say, it's a continuous process. We'll continue improving, correlating that with our investments that we are making in the network. The Gibeon topic, we will take that home as well. I know we only have a 3G site there, but with a population of over 8,000, I think we probably need additional investment into that to ensure that we arrest the demand from the population. So the team will do some test drive as well, just to establish the degree of the quality, and then we will, as part of our planning, incorporate that in our plans. So that is really a next step that we are taking for further assessment. You can see that we are having programs, and it's very flexible in terms of prioritization. If Gibeon become a pain point based on the assessments, we can always sit with the team on the ground and say, look, maybe instead of starting with Kelvin's village, can we not finish Gibeon first, for example? So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Mr. Dawson, I would really like to appreciate Mr. Dawson, because at every opportunity. If we have talk shows, Talk of the Nation, all of situation critical, even at COVID times, Mr. Dawson had been the front runner of questions, and he asked questions on behalf of the community. I'd really like to appreciate Mr. Dawson. Yeah, with regard to the question on data costs, I think for NBC it's not our space, so we'll not be able to provide. Ms. Lachransi has just now provided an answer. Hopefully, Mr. Dawson has taken that to heart. I think also the other question, Mr. Dawson, in terms of the coverage of NBC, the reception, the direct-to-home initiative, which we are going to have soon, will really take care of that need of having access to NBC. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much to our service providers.
Thank you, Mati, and thank you all for... Oh, Edie, would you like to say something first? Okay.
Felix, kindly just...
Good afternoon, my elders. This is Linda from the Ministry of ICT. There was a question, I think, that the regulator touched on, the issue of satellite. There is no specific preferred satellite provider. What actually the law requires is that there should be an application. If you meet the requirement, then you get the license. So that is really what it is, that there are so many satellite service providers. I think, but Ms. Ronell has highlighted. The issue of disasters, in the minister's statement, she indicated that there's a national emergency telecommunications plan, which actually is aimed to make available telecommunication services during disaster. And one of the activities is actually to have a sound broadcasting. What that means is that we are working on having a code or a short code, so that whoever then receives a signal, it doesn't require your internet connectivity, you'll be able to get information about disaster. We had an issue of the bridge just by Rehoboth, the one that, fell down the other day. Many people got to learn about that through social media. So the idea is to have such a code, then we'll send messages in terms of disaster. Then there was an issue in terms of cyberbullying, whether there are regulations. We are working on the cybercrime bill, which makes provision for that. But what we are always emphasizing is that a crime is a crime. Whether committed online or offline, it's a crime and it must be reported, and the police will then investigate. Additionally, that's why we are running campaigns, cybersecurity awareness campaigns. You can have a good law, but if people don't understand or they don't get how they can protect themselves, they will still become victims. Typically, we are saying, as an example, you never participated in the competition in MTC, and somebody pretends to calls you to call coming from NBC, and you entertain this person, even going as far as giving your details to someone that you never met. Is just somebody that you have, just by calling. So it's about education, cyberbullying. What are we teaching the children in school? That's why we teamed up with Lifeline Childline and UNICEF, that we are running this campaign so we educate that. Education is very important. Don't bully somebody else because it's a criminal offense. Then the other issue was about sensational journalism. The media in Namibia is self-regulating. We have a media ombudsman. If anybody is aggrieved or with regard to the journalism aspect of it, please do contact the media ombudsman. With regards now to the online magazines that the colleague has mentioned, As a ministry, we do register the magazines, so it would always be good then to verify. If we can get the list of those, then we'll be able to see whether they are certified to offer such services. But I think the biggest issue in all this is that let's just be mindful, let's be vigilant, because the criminals, just like your physical criminals, the online criminals work also in a syndicate. It's a syndicate that somebody that might even bully you, might do what, might not even be based in here. It could be somebody else. And some people are used by others. So let's just be mindful when we are online. I think those were the questions that were asked that the ministry could be able to give some responses. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Edie. Honorable Minister.
The ED has left me very little to respond to. She has covered most, and the operators as well. But just to reiterate that in all the efforts we're doing, and as a Ministry of ICT, we have the eagle view of where we have done well in connectivity and where we still have gaps. And the truth of the matter is, this country is so large. We are sitting in Mariental, and I'll keep on making this example because it's necessary for us to actually apply our minds to the tall task that we have at the Ministry of ICT. We're sitting here in Mariental, and already the whole region, as it was projected by the two operators, is a challenge to expand both fiber, digging of trenches and putting copper lines for connectivity, and a standing network tower, which on average can cost about 3.5 million Namibian dollars if you include connecting it to electricity. If there's no electricity, making sure that you put solar panels and batteries and a generator that has petrol running for that tower to be on. We are sitting in Mariental, but there's Katima Mulilo. I don't know how many kilometers is that. I know from Windhoek it's about 1,200. To Katima Mulilo, and in between, we must still connect all those villages, all those communities, farm after farm, until Katima Mulilo, all the way to Impalila Island. The other month we're in Opo. And hopefully we'll go to Osenke. So this country is so large, colleagues. It's no excuse. We'll continue working very hard, but it's the topography. Operators go and do environmental assessments. They do the earthwork and the civil works to put up the tower. They say, we spend extra money because the place is hard. It's rocky. So you plan to spend 50,000 on that, it could easily double. That's money that you now also need to rearrange. So I just want you to see it in the context that, yes, and remember, we are also just 3 million people for such a large country, and we are not concentrated, we are dispersed. We like our space. We are everywhere. So I like the example of the UK, but we are not the UK. The UK is a small country compared to us, and their population is large, which means they are concentrated. So that's the challenge we have. But you also have continuous urban-rural migration, people coming to towns. Nobody wants to be in Mariental and your internet is slow. You are in Mariental, the capital of the region. So we want to put towers in rural areas, but you now need to divide and balance and say, okay, yes, this is a village of 2,000 people, but if you go into one location in an urban setting, in Windhoek, for example, let me just give Windhoek because I was born in Windhoek and I'm from Windhoek. Samora Machel constituency, which is my constituency, has a population of 92,000 people, as per the last census. So whether you like it or not, one tower will not solve it. So you will think we are putting a lot of towers in Windhoek, but it's just Samora Machel alone that needs multiple towers. And that's just one constituency, in one town, in one region. And we have 121 constituencies. So we really have a tall tall task on our shoulders. We are doing the best we can. We want to ensure that you have unlimited data, you can afford the data. But even this new internet speeds, we ask the operators to implement 25 megabits per second download and 3 megabits per second upload. It means the internet must be faster. It means more capacity. More capacity means more investment in money. You understand? So everything, unfortunately, and especially with technology, it costs money. Everything with technology costs money, and it's not cheap technology. It's high sophisticated technology for you to be able to watch that video on your phone. So it's some serious investment. We are not there yet. And as a ministry, we are cognizant of the fact that although we want all the billions of dollars, there are priority areas: education, health, water. What's the point of having a network tower if people don't have water? So you sacrifice and say, no, rather go drill boreholes. The network tower can wait. So we know the power of technology. We are constantly advocating for it. But everything has a context. Everything has a multifaceted environment. But we are committed. When we get the little funds we get for every budgetary year, we prioritize in a way that we include as many people. We ensure the whole country gets something, you know, for people to see that we are trying. But we do need your help. The issue of the copper theft is a big one. We have copper thefts, we have generators being stolen, we have solar batteries being stolen. Instead of putting up 3 network towers now in Hardap, I now would have to cut them to 2 because I have to replace existing, you know, copper cables. The panels that were stolen, I must replace them. That's money I'm taking away from the 3rd tower. So by the time I want to build the 3rd tower, I don't have enough money to build the 3rd tower because I had to replace. So it's a lot of concerted, collaborative efforts that we need to work together. And we ask for your patience, not because we are not committed, but we ask for your patience because there are so many competing priorities. But where we are lagging behind, where we are not doing our best, please let us know. The operators, like they said, they are here to hear from you. Not only hear from somebody else, but to hear from the horse's mouth, from the leadership, from the community members, from the clients that we want to give this service to. On the last question I want to address is the cyberbullying. I fully agree. The ED spoke about that. We are working with that on the cybercrime bill, and we are serious about that. We have put in provisions around cyberbullying, around doxing, around online harassment, around stalking, cyber stalking, where somebody takes pictures of you unknowingly and posts them online. All of that, somebody basically making you live in fear. All of that is included in that law. And we are going to be very strict with its application, because as much as we have the right to expression, the right to speech, we have people who are very toxic online. And we say what happens online has real life consequences. We read stories of children being cyberbullied and committing suicide. It's a fact. It impacts somebody's mental health. And we cannot have a society where I want to be online. Maybe I run a small business online. I sell fat cakes online or cookies, or I sell clothing bales. But because of cyberbullying, I must retreat from online spaces because there are people who want to continuously bully me and my person. We cannot have people refusing to go online because they are scared, that they don't want to use the opportunities online because somebody is making their life a living hell. And that is why that law is there. But beyond that, we are also looking at ensuring that we close that gap of the existing laws, the law against defamation, because it has serious reputational risk. Reputational risk on a person, reputational risk on an institution, on a business. And people must be held accountable, because you cannot think just because you're sitting behind a screen and you are typing what you're typing, you can get away with it when it's untrue, when it's false, when it's damaging. And that law really will close that gap. But as it stands today, there is no vacuum. If somebody is cyberbullying you, there is a unit in NAMPO that does those investigations and to bring a case forward. So go and report it to the police. Do not wait, do not feel disempowered. You are more than empowered to do so. The law needs to catch up, yes, but right now there is no vacuum. Go ahead and report, because a crime offline, as the ED has indicated, is exactly the same as a crime online. If somebody is consistently spreading fake information around this, journalism, publications, or people who pretend to be journalists but do not abide by the ethics, media ethics, there are repercussions to that. So let us make sure we make our online spaces safer, peaceful, to allow people to utilize, the online spaces. We don't want people to say, but I don't want to use Facebook anymore. I don't want to use WhatsApp, or I don't want to use Twitter. That's where opportunities are being posted. So this person loses out because they are scared to even show their face on online spaces. We cannot have that in this country. And we are so little for 3 million people. The amount of toxicity sometimes surprises me quite a lot. And there could be very driving factors for that. But being, unkind and right out toxic is not an excuse for anybody. No matter what you're going through, no matter who you are, no matter where you are, we must do better. So I just wanted to share that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Ladies and gentlemen, we're drawing close to ending our program for the day. Kindly help me in welcoming Mr. Paulus Levin, the Acting Chief Regional Officer, to give us the closing remarks for the day.
Director of Ceremonies, allow me to adjust a little bit my vote of thanks. I know we are pressed for time this afternoon, but let me ask you to turn to the person sitting next to you to say, it looks like you are ready for independence. I think we sit a long time now, and with the Honorable Minister saying, watch how you sit, even in a meeting. You might see yourselves on the TV tonight, fast asleep probably, and the camera is only on you. So for the ladies, make sure that your lipstick is also the right way. Director of Ceremonies, that's not part of my vote of thanks. It was just an insert on it, but I think it's interesting to end off like this. We have heard quite a lot of strong stuff that might not even be at our level, but Honorable Minister, you will agree with me, and also the service providers. The impression that I get sitting there and listening is that there is a need for more interaction at this particular level. There are a lot of issues, not necessarily problems, but I think the community needs more information. What is it that we provide? How do we provide it? I look at the presentations, very, very rich. But will it be possible, if it's not too sensitive information, for the service providers to avail it to the public, to once more look at it? I couldn't capture my schools who will benefit from those programs, those type of things. Honorable, I'm also happy to notice that there are quite a number of young people in this particular meeting, except me. I tried my best, luckily for my barber, he gives me a bit of a shape. There are only 2 people that have more gray and silver hair than me. I'll not give their names through this afternoon. Honorable Emma Theofelus, Minister of Information and Communication Technology, I think it's because of your presence that we can see quite a number of young people in this meeting. And it's important, it's critical that they are here. This is your time. All the things that we have spoken about relates to you. I have particularly looked at my beautiful ladies sitting in front of me here, dressed so smartly, and the camera, Simon, must be on them. Looking so beautiful, and I want to welcome them especially this morning and say to them, from an old man, you look beautiful. Your husbands will not be jealous with me. Say, "Ag, as 'n ou man daai." So, Honorable Governor Rian Charles McNabb, thank you for also being here with us this afternoon. The chairperson of the Hardap Regional Council could not be here, but I think he was equally represented by the honorable councillors this morning, Honorable Van Neel and Honorable Visser. I have also taken note of the presence of Her Worship, the Mayor of Marienthal, and her esteemed councillors. Also, I have taken note of the Deputy Mayor of Aranos Town, Ms. Van Zyl. I have also taken note of the Rehoboth people that are represented here, and so maybe from Malti here and also from Gibeon. I've taken note of the esteemed traditional community and church leaders of the Hardap region. Thank you, Senior, for translating for us this morning. Ms. Linda Nakale, the Executive Director of the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology. Your input was very valuable. Officials from all government entities present here. And a special word of welcome to our representatives from the ICT service providers and telecommunications regulators. Now, Honorable Minister, the good part of putting me at vote of thanks is to say the following. We must walk the talk. And luckily, I know all of these big bosses of MTC, of Telecom, of CRAN, even of NBC. More probably than 36 years, some of them. So the challenge this morning is to them in your presence. I've looked at the style of Mr. Denk. He's a very, very loyal and passionate employee of the NBC. You see how he stood here in front with an NBC style. Now I'm saying to you, also looking at the beautiful ladies in front of me here, when I think it was MTC spoke about the smartphone and those type of things, I could see the two ladies smiling amongst themselves here. It's how and I was saying, should I not challenge MTC and Telecom this morning in the presence of the minister to say, whilst the big bosses are here, I know by the afternoon they can sign the contracts for giving you the smartphones. And the minister will just verify tomorrow at the Independence to say, did you receive it as an independence gift? I'm leaving it with you. I'm leaving it with you. And the same way that Mr. Denk was breaking here, NBC style, I'm saying, decoder, is there no way that he can also, as an independence gift, give and send Monday morning from Windhoek decoders for a few other people in the Hardap region? Let's give them food for thought. This is just corporate social responsibility, and it's a way of reaching our communities. What is it that we can offer tangibly to our people? We heard the challenges, the problems that are there, but what are we doing? Meetings are good, but talk can be very cheap. So let's walk the extra mile and see what is it that we can do. Members of the media, Honorable Minister, that's what I want to tell you earlier on when I call on your name, is to say I can testify as one of the regional leaders of Hardap Regional Council that your team is doing extremely well. I don't have a very expensive word to say to someone, I acknowledge you, you are doing your work perfectly. They are always on time, the setup that they do, everything else. Except when the minister is here, the devil will ook nou sê share, and he bothers with technology early in the morning. But be it as it may, I can guarantee you that your team on the ground is of the best. Let's give them a round. Those ones that I have not included, distinguished stakeholders and guests that are here, please feel included. And with that, I say all protocol observed. Now I start. Good afternoon. Today's engagement has reaffirmed, and you will agree with me sitting here, those that have listened attentively, the importance of collaboration between government, communities, and the private sector in advancing ICT development in the Hardap region. A region, as you have heard rightfully, that has a unique mix of rural and urban constituencies. Sorry for Gibeon, but you have been highlighted now very well. Everybody have taken note of you. But is facing both challenges and opportunities in breaching the digital divide. And we are therefore grateful, Honorable Minister of Information Communication Technology, for your initiative that allows us to engage on pertinent ICT development matters, and for reaffirming this morning the Ministry's commitment to ensuring that Hardap region is not left behind in Namibia's digital transformation journey. Your leadership inspires us this morning with confidence that our schools and communities and institutions will benefit from improved access to information, digital literacy, and cybersecurity awareness. Honorable Governor, only you can give that Hardap smile. If you hear all the good things in the house, we appreciate your emphasis on how ICT can uplift education in particular, but also equally so agriculture and service delivery in general in the Hardap region. Let's give him a round. I don't know how many times he is seeing his wife in a week, but that the pastors must deal with later on. That's the work of a politician. It's a lot of sacrifices that one needs to make sometimes. Your vision for inclusive development resonates with the aspirations of our people. More so the youth that you see here this morning, who are the important constituents to the ICT ecosystem as they use ICTs to engage meaningfully, study, and can use it to create jobs for themselves or for others. We also acknowledge this morning our honorable councillors that you have seen earlier, but even those local authority councillors that are also very vocal on issues that affects their people in the constituencies. And the traditional leaders for voicing the needs of their communities. So their contributions ensure that ICT solutions remain people-centered and responsive to local realities. As I conclude, therefore, our appreciation as this mighty Hardap region is extended to the Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, the Communications Regulator Authority of Namibia. Ms. Legrand, you have done very well. You know, you sound from somewhere, I will not tell where, but your Afrikaans, I listen very attentively. Very good, 8 out of 10. You know, I behave now like a teacher. Also, MTC, very smart. You are blue everywhere. Telecom Namibia is very close to the Directorate, NamPost, and the Namibian Broadcasting Corporation for demonstrating commitment to expanding connectivity and services in the Hardap region. Your partnership is vital in ensuring that now I become personal. My learners, my teachers, and the elders, government entities and businesses alike can participate meaningfully in the digital economy. Finally, Honorable Minister, we thank all stakeholders, even on your behalf also, present for their active participation. The Ministry of Information and Communication Technology, under the leadership of the ED, I've seen her this morning smartly, directing us. You were a good general this morning for coordinating this important dialogue, and the Hardap Regional Council for providing a conducive environment for us. So as we conclude, let us continue working together to make Hardap a region where ICT is not just a tool, but a driver of innovation, inclusion, and sustainable development. And with that, Honorable Minister, now I will not ask you to turn again to each other because you have already indicated to say, we are ready for independence. I wish you a happy 36th Independence Day and ask you to join us in celebration of this day tomorrow here in the city of Marienthal. May God bless you, and I wish you well for the rest of the weekend. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Levin. Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the close of our program today. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for the participation from the audience and the general public. Thank you very much to the media for being here. Thank you to our stakeholders for joining us today. And thank you, Hardap Region, for hosting us today. And may you continue to host us as we go into independence tomorrow. And we cannot wait to see what the Hardap Region has in store for us and has in store for the rest of Namibia when it comes to the independence celebration tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, we have our lunch. The arrangements for lunch are as follow, if you could kindly just listen. Our high tables, this include our Minister and Honorable Governor's table, and our table here with our traditional authority leaders and constituency leaders are going to be, as well as our key stakeholders, are going to be having their lunch in the HR boardroom, and the rest of the public, there will be food available for you just in the hallway as you step out. Let's kindly allow the high tables and our key stakeholders to kindly just exit the room and be directed to the HR boardroom for where they're going to be having their lunch. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, before we continue to lunch, let us kindly rise for the AU and the national anthem.
Let us dedicate ourselves to rise together.
you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Let us kindly be seated as we allow the high table and our key stakeholders to proceed to lunch.
This is NBC1. It's ours.
Namibia will mark 36 years of freedom and independence this Saturday, the 21st of March. This year, celebrations have been decentralized to the regional level to keep you up to date. The NBC News will bring you an Independence Day special bulletin at 1700 hours on the 21st of March on how regional activities unfolded. Make a date with us, your reliable news source.